Hey, everybody. I just went straight to the live stream. I skipped a little intro song. Hope you don't mind, but things are a little bit out of sequence today, just a little bit. Let me check my camera. Looks like it's a little bit low. There we go. That looks better. So it is Labor Day 2020. And for, of course, those of us in the States, that is a, holiday. And some of us turn it into a 3-day weekend, go different places and do different things. And that's what we did this weekend. My wife and I went to the lake and hung out with friends, had our kids over there, and had a good time. So let me see who's on the stream. We have Krukato Funelaria, Boa Noite a Nós Rancheria, Brazil. Glad you're here. Robert Magny checking in from Blanchard, Oklahoma. Terry Keithley checking in. Denny Alvey, glad you're here. Jeff Reynolds responding to Cricato. And hi, everyone. Hope everyone viewing in the U.S. is having a great Labor Day. Yes, thank you, Jeff. And Derek Pro checking in from Australia. Glad you're here. Crash Rider from Southern Indiana. Yes, we get it. Jeff, labor or labor. Yeah, it's all good. Derek Pro checking in. Derek, hi Barry, how you doing? How was Labor Day? Labor Day was good. And, today is actually the holiday, but there was a lot going on with our weekend. So I'll get more into that in just a minute. And Earl, let me see. Hi, Barry. Hope you're having a great holiday. Apologies if you told us before. What color will the Brooklyn Pony be painted? It's going to be silver blue. That's the original color for the car, and that's what it's going back to. So silver blue on the Brooklyn Pony. Jerry Towler checking in. Glad you're here. Bob Knoll and Darren Garrett checking in from Canada. So I'm glad you're here as well. Of course, here in the States, we celebrate Labor Day. And for us, it was a getaway for a weekend, a few days. We went to the lake with our animals, which this was a new experience for us because normally we take our dogs with us. But this weekend we had to take our cats with us. So I'm not a cat guy. I'm not excited about that. But anyway, we took our cats with us. Hey, Joe, glad you're here. Joe Pendola checking in. So we had our cats with us this weekend. So that made it kind of interesting. And again, not high on my priority list. So, we have here Goodmunder checking in. He's grinding welds and old paint. Yep. Well, that's a good thing. Not so glamorous, but a good thing. I think the camera's just a little bit crooked. I look at these visual references and I have the top of the wall up there and I look at the camera and see if it's level. So bugs my mind. I can see it's close. But anyway, so we went to the lake and again, hung out with friends and just went swimming, and just enjoyed company of longtime friends that we've had. And, it's one of those things. It's good to do. Very good to do. Brandon checking in from Mongolia. Wow. Now, I see it says Mongolia, but I also see your name is Brandon. That doesn't sound like a Mongolian name. So I'm assuming that you're not directly from Mongolia. That is my assumption. So you can chime in or correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just guessing here. So anyway, we did our weekend getaway and I said, hung out with friends and different things. And then, today was a pack up day and drive back and get unpacked, and we got here about 6 o'clock. So did some running around, taking care of things, and trying to get organized for the live stream. So as you can see, I currently have on a different hat. This is a hat I got in Alaska. So let me put on the Joe Daddy's hat, make it official, right? Okay, yeah, Harvey's here checking in. I'm glad you're here too, Harvey. So, yeah, the Alaska hat. We did a trip 4 years ago, I think it was. So the background on this, our 25th wedding anniversary. I had arranged and planned a trip with 3 other couples in our group, and the trip was to take a cruise to Alaska, and all of it was a surprise. My wife did not know. She knew we were going on a cruise, but she did not know that the other 3 couples were going to be there with us. So it was cool. So that's my commemorative Alaska hat. So anyway, Robert checking in. How was the fishing? Not good, but I got a lot of practice casting. That's about all I can say on that, because I don't really know. I said I understand the concept. I can operate a fishing reel. Most people can. It's not that complicated, but I don't understand. I know that there's lots of things involved. The type of bait you need for the type of fish you want to catch, to the temperatures of the water, to the time of day, and all those different things that I just don't know. So I'm going to end up connecting with some friends who are avid fishermen and try to get some insight, so that at least I can enjoy it a little more, except for just casting a line out and reeling it in every few minutes, whatever. Hey, Mud King, glad you're here. Yep. Well, it's America Day. I guess you could say that. I mean, there's got my American Legends T-shirt on, so just a little bit different. Shirt. Still out of focus? Really? I don't know what the deal is. I can't do much about the. It looks like it's in focus here, Harvey. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what I can do to change that, because the camera's clean. I assure you, the camera's clean. Looks clean. I guess I could try to wipe it off, if that would make a difference. If I could find something semi-clean to wipe it with, I guess. But looks clear. Okay. Good Munder saying it looks clear to him, so I'll just have to run with that. Or run with that, I should say. Do you still have that Mustang? Well, it depends on which Mustang is that Mustang. I still have the Brooklyn Pony here and the Jade Mustang. And the Stray Pony, the one that semi-secret Stray Pony 65 Mustang. That one is here as well. And so, yes, I guess is the answer. Robert says, looks good to him. Okay, well. And Bob says, I can't see. It looks good to me. Well, that's just it too. I mean, I can. Oh, all right. So Harvey said it was on his end. Well, now I feel better. Thank you, Harvey. Thank you. Gotta have the coffee. Mud King says nice. Yep. Well, let's see. David and Cheryl, they're fishing right now. Well, I'll give you a bell for that. Hope you catch something. At least something worth keeping or cooking up and eating. That's the thing. I almost don't care what I catch, as long as I can eat it. I feel like if I catch it, it's mine. I deserve to eat that thing, whatever it was. But so far, the fish have been lucky, because I don't know what I'm doing. You got to have some sort of skills to go with the fishing. I should get a hot rod. Well, I had a hot rod. I've had several hot rods. You may not have seen. I had a '55 Chevy rat rod that I ended up trading for some other stuff. But I think the '68 Mustang will be the quote hot rod once it's all finished up and together. And that's coming. It's working its way into the program. So hopefully that gets more work done on it very soon. And I want to get that car all together so that I can get it out of the back paint area and move on to other things. Of course, there's still plenty to do on a Brooklyn Pony, as well. And I have to give a shout out. I don't know where he's at. Maybe I should wait and see if he shows up. Maybe I should wait and see if Jorge shows up. So David Churro, I caught a small cat, a gar, and a carp. Well, that's quite the range. Especially a gar. That's a pretty good sized fish from what I understand. Catfish, yeah. And a carp, yeah. But yeah, they don't often see, I guess, or see, I'm sure there's videos out there, people catching gar and, but where I fish, I'm not going to find probably anything except crappie or crappie, however you want to say it. And then, bass, and I guess some catfish, maybe some bluegill. But I don't know for sure. But I am learning. I'm trying to get information so I know a little more what I'm doing, and go from there. Mud King, my dad has a '57 Bel Air. Yeah, that's a cool car. That's a cool car. Well, I can do a shout out because, instead of, I'll wait on this one. I have 2 boxes that showed up. Probably, I don't know, Saturday. I don't know, but they showed up. One is from DP. So I say DP because that's his YouTube name, DP, and I had done those drawings. I was doing some giveaways and the on the vintage air videos, and so he won one of the drawings. So he decided to send me some stuff. So I'm going to show you what that is in just a minute. We have Cooter Lev checking in from Oklahoma City. Internet is spotty tonight. Everyone is home streaming. Yeah. Yep. River fishing for Dave and Cheryl. Yeah. That would be fun. I would like that. Try trolling for crappie. Yeah. Well, I think there's several things I'm going to have to do if I'm going to, let's say, get more serious. I do have a kayak, but it's not a fishing kayak. And my wife and I have talked about getting a small, something like a John boat. I don't know yet. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, we'll just fish from the shore dock or go with somebody else. But yeah, there is opportunity for me to get out there on the water with friends who have boats and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Mud King, and my dad has a Trans Am Firebird. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so anyway, over the last couple weeks, whatever, I did those giveaways, and DP was one of the winners. Well, as it turns out, DP sent me some pretty cool swag. And one thing he sent me is a hat. And it's from, now see, I don't even know this company, but I've heard of Falcon airplanes, but this is Dassault. I don't even know how you say it. Dassault. Dassault Falcon. So he sent me this cool hat and some of the other cool stuff that came with it. I got a little pin here of a Falcon 900 LX. So these are like little corporate jets. And these are usually a lot of fun to ride in. They're quick. So that was part of it. And then, and this is a big thing for aircraft guys. It really is. Anytime you want to, you think about collectible type things that you want from an airplane that crosses over in some sense to automotive. And that is exactly what these are. Typically, on an aircraft, and it can be any kind of aircraft. I mean, commercial to private to little commuter stuff, whatever. They'll have these kind of tags on them, and the tag. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't want to make that irritating, but the tag, it says remove before flight. So let me see if I can open that up. And what it is whenever you there may be certain safeties on the airplane that have to be released before it's safe to fly. And so you may have on a cowl or something like that a pin, and the pin is locked in, or the landing gear. You could have this on the landing gear to where it's locked and it can't retract unless you remove the pin. And the idea is if it's on the ground, you put the lock pin in so that the landing gear doesn't fail and cause the plane to come down, and cause damage. So you put the lock pin through a certain point of the landing gear mechanism and it locks it. Well, again, the idea is if you're going to be flying, you definitely don't want to take off with any of these hanging on the plane somewhere, because that's a bad thing. So they make them typically bright colored. Most everyone I've ever seen has just been bright orange or red and just says remove before flight. So he sent me one of these when it's got Falcon Response on the back of it. So I don't know the story behind the Falcon setup, but this one is green. It looks blue, doesn't it? Believe me, it's green. Well, that's weird. Why is that looking blue? That's crazy. That is definitely, this is like forest green color. Like the little trees, you have in the little scented trees you would get in your car. This is green. Why is it showing up blue? That's weird. Why is it doing that? What do I have? Yeah, that's blue. That shows up almost white. Trust me. Anyway, it says remove before flight and has Falcon 2000S on the back of it. Now, this is weird. Wait a minute. Now, look at this one. This one is blue, but the blue that you're seeing is brighter than the blue that's on the actual material. And this one has remove before flight and Falcon 7X. Now, what's weird, really weird, is this one. This one in the image almost looks like the color of what this one really is. That's weird. Huh. But everything else is the right color. Maybe it's, I don't know. Can't be the plastic. Okay. So anyway, I got those, which is cool because I'll use these, to make nice keychains, stuff like that. So I'll put those to use. And one more thing. Nice little box. Pull this out. Pretty snazzy pen. Again, has Dassault Falcon on it. And I think it has that rubber tip where you can use it on your phone, because it came with a little plastic keeper on top of it. So, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's a twist pen. So you twist the end of it to get the pen part, ink to come out. And that top portion. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's cool. Look at this. The pen, it's got a light built in. It lights up. It says it lights up the Dassault. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. don't know if you can see that or not. That's pretty cool. We'll try one more thing. I'll turn off the other light. Oh, it's so bright. It's blinding. Hang on. I've never seen a pen that had a built-in light. You can turn it off. See if I can. Yeah. I have never seen a pen that you can light up. Ah, that's pretty cool. I may have to look into that for some Joe Daddy pens. I've never seen that. Okay, well that gets a couple of bells. So I don't know if DP is anywhere around, but yeah, that's pretty unique. So thank you, DP, for the goodies. That's pretty cool. I'll have to show. I showed my wife earlier when I pulled this out of the box. Oh, it's a pen. You know, it's a pen. Okay, but I've never seen one light up. So that's, and I get excited about things that light up. I'm all about flashlights and lights and being able to see in the dark, aren't we all? Okay. Randall checking in from Utah. Got my driver's side floor pan in my 67 Cougar today. Next up is rear quarter panels, roof, trunk panels, and wheelhouses. That sounds like a lot of work, but that's the good kind of work right there. Sheet metal stuff. That's where I like to be in the middle of sheet metal. Mud King, school starts tomorrow for me, so I have more stuff to do this year, but I'll try to watch your videos. Okay, good. Please do. Derek Pro, an idea for Joe Daddy pens. I thought that as you said it. Yep. Well, I do have, and I do have some pens, but they're a lot simpler, and they don't really. I don't know who would make that. I have to do some research now. I think that's pretty cool. Mine are pretty mundane, simple pens. They do have the little rubber grippy thing on the end, though. I guess you could use on your phone, but they don't light up. Sorry. Let's see. Dave and Cheryl checking out so we can focus on fishing. That's fine. That's fine. Enjoy the fishing. Hope you have a good time. Dave Britton is checking in. Glad you're here, Dave. Nice to have you. Yep. So I'm going to wait a little bit and see if. Well, I don't know if he'll show up or not. He may show up on Thursday. So I'll just go ahead and show you. Jorge has been on here quite a bit, and let me see here. Hold on a second. Marshall got the T56 trans in this weekend, had to move it half inch up and within a half degree on drive line. Within a half degree on drive line now. Thanks for the help, folks. Cool. Glad to hear that. I don't know, did the measurements that I sent you help at all? Because I know we exchanged some information. I don't know if that worked or not, but I'm glad to hear it's working. I know other people have commented and put in lots of input on that. So cool. Let me get back to the swag box, because Jorge has been on here frequently. He's been on the live streams. I've had him on the stream itself, which I also want to point out, if anybody's interested, I need to mention that. If you're interested in being on the live stream, down there at the bottom of the screen, send me an email and I can send you a link to this live stream and get you on if you're interested. If not, that's fine too. Rick checking in. Glad you're here, Rick. So Jorge has been on here before, and he has talked about stuff that was medical related. He does stuff, I believe, medical supplies, and he has talked to us about the Corona stuff and different things and shared information, which was great. We all need more and good information. So Jorge sent me a swag box, and I like these. I like these a lot. He sent me 3 hats. And this is, of course, the company he works for, I guess, HD Supply. But I'm a sucker for camouflage. Aren't we all? So it's got this really nice camouflage hat, and it's got, it's open in the back, so it's vented. I mean, just pretty sweet little hat right there. And then another one, also HD Supply, and this is a Realtree brand. Again, pretty cool hat, and it's open open holes in the back, for ventilation. So again, camouflage, I like that. So now, Dave, you're saying the focus is messed up. Really? Is it still messed up? I can't tell. Let me go. I know the camera tries to adjust to whatever's in front of it. So let's just see if it straightened out. But this is a cool hat too. Again, HD Supply. I like that texture. It's got it feels like a textured grip on the front of it. That might be a nice golf hat. So let's see how close it is. Oh, look at that. It fits right out of the box. KD Supply. No, HD Supply. I'm sorry, HD. HD. It looks like a K unless you get it right on. So it is HD Supply. Very cool. And he sent me some pens. Now these are just pens. They don't light up. But it's always nice to have more pens. All right. Let's see. All right. Oh, okay. So Dave says it was him. Changes video quality to 144. Okay. Well, sorry. I know that earlier Harvey was saying it was messed up, but it was him, or his computer or something. So I'm glad that's figured out. Let's see. Let me back up a second. BK Woods checking in. Glad you're here. War Wagon. Gee, I would, but I am a little computer handicapped. It doesn't take much. You can do it on your phone. I've had a variety of people just do it with their phone. So you could send it, and I could send you the link, and you could try. You could just try it and see if it works. And, if it doesn't, because I can preview, if you do accept it, and follow the link, then I'll get down below. You can't see it here. There will be a window where I can see you in a preview before I bring you on to the screen. So if you want to try it, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. Let's see. So it's just me says it looks good to him. Good. At 480. Okay, good. War Wagon. You should probably just go ahead and send me an email. Now you're talking about tour of cars. You should probably send me an email. Because if nothing else, we could see the cars. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't even have to show your face. You can just say, this is that car, and this is that car, and this, and you could just point at them with the camera turned around. Yep. Jeff says if the cap fits, wear it. Yeah, pretty much. So again, thanks to DP and also to Jorge for sending me the stuff. That's pretty cool. And I'm happy to show it. So, War Wagon, my classic Horde. Man, you really should just jump in. There's only 43 people here today, right now. 43. And last week we had 75. I know it's a holiday weekend and that people are, doing other things, obviously. I'm glad there's 43 people that are showing up just for this, just to hang out. So, War Wagon, I will next time. It is too hot. Yeah, well, it is. Well, fall is coming. I can tell you that. BK, maybe I'll hop on and show you the latest on the Cyclone. Well, come on. Bring it. bring it. Send me an email. I'll send you a link. I like having people come on because I can talk and ramble and tell stories and whatever and answer questions but it's nice to have other people come on and see their projects so that other people can go, look at that. I can do this, or he's in the similar situation, or maybe he's got some information he can share. So yeah, by all means, see if you can get on here. Let's see. Peter Davies checking in from Australia. Glad you're here. War Wagon. Hey, you working on Mustang 3-point seatbelt video yet? That's probably very close in the sequence. Probably very close. That is something I need to take care of and get addressed. I think the front won't be that difficult because the kits they sell, and even the kit that I was provided, they have you weld in a piece where the pinch weld is at the top of the door. Well, the door, the B pillar. So where it starts to curve, you put that piece in there and weld it solid. So I may do some experimenting with that. I'm not sure exactly. I think the bigger concern is going to be the rear seatbelts, because if I understand correctly, what's provided in the kit is a 3-point setup for the rear. So if you think about that, you're going to need a shoulder point, and in a convertible, there's like really nothing. I mean, there's a thin little divider panel that to me is not anywhere near strong enough to support a 3-point mount. So I already have some thoughts going as to what I want to do. And I'm going to, if I pull it off, if I get it to work, you'll see. There will be a video on that process. Because I think it's important, for one, to have the seatbelts installed, at least according to what the manufacturer that provided the seatbelts, information they give you. But especially in a convertible, you can't really count on the light duty sheet metal that's in the back of the car. And it's all light duty. There's nothing industrial back there. So I think that I'm going to have to add something. So good question. I will make a video on that though. It's just me says, bring it on. Yeah, he wants to see some stuff, some cars. Yeah. So maybe BK Woods, you send me an email and we can get together. Okay. Oh, Jerry wants to get on. All right. Well, I'm gonna send Jerry an invite. So Jerry will get on, and then we'll go from there as to whether BK wants to get on. So, Jerry, you've just been sent an invite. And War Wagon, got to go look at my 65 vert. Maybe you can bend a thicker support. Yeah, I've got some ideas. And I'll just tell you up front, the idea that I have in mind is to make a mini roll bar. It would not be a roll bar that's up above your head, exposed. I'm thinking of making a roll bar piece that runs behind that panel that will not interfere with the convertible top. At least it should not interfere with the convertible top. And then add in some bracing on the bottom so that piece won't come loose from, let's say, the floor pan, whatever is attached to up the top. So it may need some plates welded on, kind of like if you put in a roll bar in a car. You don't put the roll bar right to the floor pan and just weld it. That would be ridiculous. You put in a big plate, weld the floor pan to that, weld the roll bar to the plate, and weld the plate to the floor. That way you spread the load. So that's kind of what I have in mind. And I'll do some experimenting and see what works, or what I think will work. Derek, with the 347, probably need racing harnesses. Well, ideally in a perfect situation, yeah. Um, but I can't say, or I don't believe that the owner plans to go out and do like any serious aggressive racing driving with this. At least not at this point. So if you go to that point, I would, I would think put in a real roll bar, stuff like that. But anyway, Jerry is getting queued up. He's getting his camera in position, I believe, and probably going to show us something on his car. All right. So let me get. Nope. Jerry's still adjusting. All right. You ready, Jerry? Let me see if I can get him in. Okay. You're on, Jerry.
All right. Well, this is the latest thing I've done in terms of the car is put the sound deafening stuff in.
Yep.
And I think I explained on a later video that I put in a metal panel between the trunk and the cab just in case there was a catastrophic rear end collision
Right.
that might cause a fire.
I'm trying to get this. Go ahead.
So I've got that all in. Can you see everything?
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of problem with the paint, and you can see across the hood now. I have just a little bit of adjustment here, but all the paint issues I had has kind of gone away.
Okay.
After 1,500 grit, 3,000 grit, 5,000 grit, compounding and buffing, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And you can remember from the last videos where the light rings didn't line up. So I fixed all this on both sides.
Yeah, that looks better.
And the only remaining issue I have is with this panel here.
Still sitting up.
And to be honest with you, Barry, I'm not sure how to fix that without pulling it off and just starting over again. I've watched most of your videos on the Brooklyn Pony, and I think I know how to fix it now, but I just don't know at this point if I want to do that or not.
Well, that's a tough decision.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Because well, you know how I'm pretty picky.
Well, I mean, maybe you could say you're picky, but I think you're ultra picky.
Well, probably. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's I get something's even. It could be a lot smaller than that will bother me. But you're right. I'm probably am more ultra picky than just picky.
All right, so I'm sorry I'm backing away here.
That's okay.
I want to turn some lights on.
Oh, good.
So I had problems with the bumper lining up. So I wanted to show you here. Here's the passenger side bumper lineup.
Yep.
And the alignment across the bottom. And here's the driver's side.
Yeah.
And here's the alignment across here.
Yeah, aim down a little bit more.
And so
okay,
it's all parallel. And I've looked at a lot of Mustangs at cruise ins and things like that.
Yep.
This gap seems to be a little larger than most of them.
I would agree with that.
But I'm not sure because I know this car was wrecked.
Yes.
And I know the quarters were replaced, and I'm not sure the correct alignment was ever there.
It's really hard to say. I mean, these cars have been, you look at them, they're over 50 years old. They've been used and abused and driven and crashed and, all kinds of stuff.
So, but the alignment
Yeah.
from the driver's side to the passenger side is about the same.
Yep. That looks good.
So, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not happy with the way this hood aligns right here,
Yep.
and I'm thinking when I get all the gaskets on it and stuff like that, that might, well, it probably won't correct anything, but
It won't.
anyway, the hood's a little low here, or the deck is a little low,
Right.
alignment's a little off, so I got to do a little adjustment on that. But in general, what I think I'm going to do with this car, you know, the lines here are good, and other than the fact that I'm just not happy with this,
Yes.
um, I think I'm going to put it back together and just drive it the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, might as well enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, and if I can do this without too much trouble. And oh, by the way, this car did not have the chrome the chrome hood piece here
Okay.
that I found out today. So I've ordered those parts, and I think we talked about this before about this uh,
Tower
export
braces.
brace,
Yep.
and I got to tell you, this is probably the best export brace that I've seen for these Mustangs.
I like it.
And they also make the Monte Carlo brace that goes across here.
Right.
And I didn't order it at the same time, which was kind of a mistake on my part because of this breather. Well, ultimately, this breather is going to get changed out, and I've been trying to order just this piece for the Monte Carlo brace, and so far they don't want to break those apart.
Oh, okay.
And so this is a 200 CID engine, and I put headers on it. This is the modification I made on the alternator to get away from the headers by using two of these brackets. And my plan is I'm going to machine a single piece bracket for that. And then just because I could, I powder coated the fan.
Okay.
And then I put a cheap chrome plated valve cover on it, which will go to, on the new engine, will go to a aluminum cast on that.
It looks
It's
it
got
looks
the,
good under the hood.
I'm sorry,
It looks really good under the hood.
it does. And then I put the vacuum brakes, the tool master cylinder with disc brakes in the front and disc brakes in the back. I think I've said before, what I did in the rear end is I took a 1998 Ford Explorer and I cut it down on the driver's side
Right.
and put two 19-inch axles in it. And because it's an offset pinion, I had to add a spacer on the left, on the passenger side, to get everything lined up.
Right.
I got that done. And then Let's see what else I've done. Oh, disc brakes on the front. Company out of Austin, Texas, makes these brakes. Are these conversions, and the problem with a six-cylinder engine in a Mustang is the front suspension with spindles and linkages and things like that are completely different than a V8. So I've
True.
changed all that out.
Yep.
So basically, the front end suspension is for a V8 engine, but I'm going to keep it a six-cylinder because I've just all the shows I go to, they everything's got a V8 in it,
Yeah, that's true.
and so I just want this to be a little bit unique. And the engine, the new engine that's going to go back into it, which is a 66 original block, is going to be a little bit more high performance than the original. And I've been working with a company out in California called Classic Performance, and they've recommended some options on upgrading the engine, and I'm probably going to take some of those. And what they're calculating in terms of performance is about 240 horsepower with about 300 to 320 horsepower, or I'm sorry, 300 to 324 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And the car's only going to weigh about 2,500 pounds, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they. I'm not sure what they weighed originally. Um, of course, little things we add on add weight, obviously. So even
Well,
even the dynamat or whatever you put in there is going to add some weight to it. But
well, the kill mat, which was
still,
the
Matt.
guy in Canada, I think, that you had on the live stream, um, recommended that, and so I ordered that and put it in,
Yeah,
and so I'm sure that's going to add about 100 pounds of weight, and
probably.
then I'm also thinking about putting the kill mat in the rear trunk area, simply because the rear end of the car is always light
Yep.
compared to the front end, and which will add a little weight. So, you know, if this thing comes in under 3,000 pounds with a 250 pound or 250 horsepower inline six with
Yeah.
better than 300 foot pounds of torque, it'll scare a lot of people.
Yeah. I was just looking at some of the comments here. Let me get through some of these comments real quick while you're there.
Okay.
Um, Dave says I'm not ultra picky, over picky, just fine. Jack W is checking in. Grease Rookie Garage, who is also building a six-cylinder car, he is checking in. Goodmunder, let's see. Danny Hernandez, can you respond to my comment on your Sienna drum brake video? Okay, I'll have to do that later, Danny. I'll have to look at the video and see what your question was. And then Cooter Lev is saying hello. Inline sixes matter is his comment. And Dave Britton, Dave Britton says, Jerry, can you check out Clifford Research? Very good stuff for the six-cylinder Mustang. They have been in business for over 30 years. So there may be another source for you to get some information.
Well, thanks on that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the car, I like the way it looks under the hood. I definitely like that. And getting that rear bumper straightened out. The only other thing that I could see or say to do would be to take the actual brackets that that are on the bumper and shorten them up. That's the only way you're going to get that bumper to come in to the quarter. That's the only way I could say that. But the fact that it's lined up and it's equal on both sides, it's probably not worth messing with.
Well, I was at a cruise in Saturday, and there was a 65 and a 67 Mustang. Actually, the 65 was painted Wimbledon white, just like mine. And I went over and I looked at it, and the spacing on the alignment between the quarter and the bumper was probably 3/4 of an inch. And so I had thought about shortening those, cutting them down and bringing it in closer, which actually might be a better way to do it. But, you know, I was trying to keep this car as close to original as I could.
Sure.
Although, I've replaced the rear end with a
The
Ford
Explorer. Yeah.
Explorer, and to get it to an 8.8 rear end, and I'm doing some other mods to the engine, as you can tell. So Concours is out the window,
Well,
and
and you've also converted it to 5 lug.
yep,
Put disc brakes front and rear, so you're way off the
way off the curve.
way off of the original.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But it's it'll be a fun drive,
Sure.
and I'm thinking, because I've watched most of the Brooklyn Pony videos,
Right.
and I think I asked you a question online. What was the part number for the TCI front end suspension? And I actually found that online with TCI,
Okay.
because I was confused with TCI versus TCPI,
Okay.
which was Total Control Products Incorporated versus Total Cost Incorporated,
Involved. Yeah.
or involved.
Yeah. I think it's total
And
cost involved.
so I when I watched that video, I think it was your number 13 or something like that. I watched it so many times that I started freezing the frames to see the instruction sheet.
Yeah.
And I finally picked up the name and went online. I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's $4,600. It's a great upgrade,
Sure.
and you have to remove the shock towers to put it in, and
Yep.
they supply all that stuff.
Right.
But and that'll be in the future, maybe. Actually, I have a guy that contacts me today that wants to buy this car.
Really?
Yeah. And so I told him, I said, well, everything I've got's for sale except for my wife and the dog.
Yeah.
And maybe with the right price, I'd sell them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that,
Right.
everything I work on, has a price.
Sure does.
And, if somebody wants it more than I do, then they can have it.
Well, and that's what somebody was asking me about the Jade Mustang. When I get it finished up, and what are you going to do with it? And I said, I'm just going to, we'll drive it, whatever. And they said, what if somebody tries to buy it from you? And I said, well, if they try with the right amount of money, they can have it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyway, let's see. Bob Shoemaker is asking if it's a 200 or 177 base engine.
200.
200. Because he says a 250 would make more horsepower. However, I don't think you could get one of these with a 250 in them. I think the biggest engine you get is a 200, right?
Yes, it was 200 originally. You can, with some modifications, put a 250 or 300. And there's another YouTube channel, and I'm not promoting them at all, but it's called Power Nation, and they just built a 300 inline six, and they hopped it up, and
Sure.
they're producing about 350 horsepower to the wheels and over 425 horsepower of torque.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 425 torque pounds.
Yeah.
Foot.
Yep. Yeah, you can get a lot out of that 300. That's for sure.
And so, if you're looking for a street car, you can build these engines relatively cheap, and it's going to produce a lot more torque off the line So if you're running red light to red light, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of them that's going to beat you.
Yeah. Let me check some notes here. Dave Conville checking in, saying good evening from the OBX. So does Labor Day not mean the same to the recently retired? Yeah. I don't guess it does, Dave. War Wagon saying keep the dog, don't sell the dog. And he also commented that the Jade Mustang, he says, I thought it was the wife's car. And well, it is, but that doesn't mean somebody can't buy it. It's all relative, man. It's all relative. You know, I've had other. I always look for other cars that are available or for sale, with the idea that hey, you know, this might be another one after this one or after that one. So I'm always keeping my eyes open. And I know that right now I've looked at or I've seen available a 6-cylinder 65 Mustang that I don't even know if it has an engine in it, but it's a good, looks like a decent shell. And some young guy has it, and I think he's trying to sell it for like $1,500. So I was looking at it from the aspect of what you're talking about, Jerry, with putting in modern suspension, you know, tuning the thing up. Uh, um, I was thinking, you know, I could do that with that car and not really feel bad about it. Just, you know, put in the Mustang 2, you know, whatever, and build it up into something more than what it is. So anyway.
Well, you know, that's a really good point, because when I bought this car, I found it up in Missouri, and the lady that had it was asking $4,500. And so I looked at it, and at the point I didn't know the history on it, other than the fact that it had been painted from a Wimbledon white to a blue. And I'd done a lot of checking with magnets to see how much Bondo or body filler I might put on it.
Right.
And I couldn't tell any difference all over the car. And actually, there was not a lot of body filler on it. It's only when I started stripping it down did I find out that it had been wrecked, and started putting it back together. The biggest problem was I just didn't realize that if you had holes going through the bottom of the car, there was probably more damage than what you could see. So, you know, I'm glad I kept the car. But right. I got to tell you, Barry, I just found online tonight, before your show started, a 1967 Mustang that's got a 6-cylinder engine in it, and he's got a 351 Windsor engine that he's bought, and he's offering it for sale. It's got an automatic transmission. He's offered to sell for $10,000. So I'm going to go look at it tomorrow afternoon to see what it looks like from a standpoint of where it is, and I think he wants to maybe do some trading for this 66 I've got.
Okay.
So I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't think his car, based on what he can tell me, is probably a $10,000 car. But, you know, it might be a $5,000 car or $7,500 car. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, if I don't have to go in and put all floor pans in and things like that, then it's worth a lot more money than it is if I got to go do that.
Yeah. Well, this one that I found, you know, the guy comments, he shows a picture of the floor pans and he says it needs floor pans. Well, I look at the picture, it's solid. I don't see where it needs floor pans. So I don't know if he's just thinking because it has surface rust that it needs floor pans. And then I found another one, since you brought up the 67, a guy that he said he's had it for quite some time. And I think it was also a 6-cylinder car. It sounds very similar to the one you're talking about. I think he said he has a 351 for it. But his price was cheap. Like, again, like $1,500. That
wow.
he just but it was all the cars like all disassembled. There's pieces over here and pieces over there, and you know, um, so I don't know if I'm going to show much interest in it at this point. But I'm really thinking about going after that 65 because I know what I can do with a 65 pretty quick. You know, I can rotate and make things happen pretty quick with a car that needs work. So
Well, there's no doubt about that, and I have no doubt that you can rotate that thing in a hurry.
yeah,
The other thing is the outside of the car looks pretty clean.
okay,
I think the car is black. It's got what I would call mag wheels on it. They're not torque thrust,
okay,
and he's driven it, but I believe he's pulled the transmission out of it.
okay.
And so I'm going to look at it tomorrow and kind of do an assessment on it and see.
Okay.
I mean, I don't, and I asked him, I said, before I come, are you negotiable on the price? And he said, yes. And
that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing.
And so I asked him, I said, well, why are you negotiable? He said, well, my wife wants it out of the garage.
That's a good sign.
It is a good sign.
I just want to let Paul know. I see you in the background, Paul. I'll get to you in just a minute. We'll get you on here. Yeah, but let me know what you find on that. I mean, you might run into something that's a great deal.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Right.
But otherwise, keep us updated on the car.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Paul's in the background. I've got a couple comments I want to address, but I'm glad to see you've made progress on the car, and other than that fender, I know that's gonna bug you. I know it is, and I wish there was an easy fix that I could say just do this and you're done. But just one of those things, and like you said, if you can get it together and drive it and enjoy it, and maybe trade it, you might be further ahead.
Could be.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with you again, Jerry. Glad you're here.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. So we have Dave says Outer Banks, North Carolina. Okay. That's where he's at. Dave Britton says, Barry, it's time for you to get a fastback. Well, I'm open to that. I really am. Brian Bergman checking in. Good to see everyone. Hey, got my new compressor fixed. Well, I hate to say new compressor fixed, but I'm glad it's fixed. Jack is agreeing with Dave, I'm assuming, about the fastback, and so is Grease Rookie Andrew. Well, I'm open to it. Seaport Sound Productions, Chuck from Nova Scotia, Canada, really enjoying the Jade videos. Good. I'm glad you are. There will be more of those coming. Let's see. Warwagon, get a 6-cylinder, Barry. You and Jerry can start a gang. Yeah, we can have Andrew involved. He's got the Iron 6. So if you haven't checked out Grease Rookie Garage, make sure you check out his channel and his projects. You guys several have mentioned about this video as being blurry, and I still feel like it's out of focus. I can't tell. I don't know that it matters. It gives me that soft look. Like when the actresses that get older, they want to be filmed with a really soft lens so they look younger. That's what I have going on there. So it makes me look younger. Seaport Sound just bought a 68 coupe. Cool. Glad to hear that. And Paul checking in. Paul, are you still sanding? Or is it different Paul? Is that Paul? Right, Paul? Dave? I think it's Paul, right? Oh, wait. Okay. So Paul finally found a source for PPG shop line paint. Cool. Good. All right. Okay. So I'm going to pull in the other Paul. Unless I'm on the wrong page. Let me check here. Here comes Paul.
Hey,
there he is. Okay. Now this isn't which I have
a different Paul.
What's that?
I'm Paul Ferrari. That's my last name.
Paul Ferrari. Okay, so yeah. I have Paul D'Amato. Okay, so Paul's busy sanding. He likes to put body filler on, and then sand it all off, and then put more body filler on and sand it all off. It's just one of those things.
Cool.
So what's going on with you? What do you got in the background there?
So that is the, I think I'd sent you some pictures of 66 Mercury Cyclone
Okay.
GT that I done completely over. I got it, wasn't going to do a full resto and ended up, realizing I was going this far, I might as well take it completely.
Right.
So we pulled it completely apart, blasted it, painted it, had the engine redone, tranny redone, everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to guess that you're not from South Georgia.
No, we are in Boston, Mass.
Yeah.
Just north of Boston.
I heard the accent and I was like, oh, he's up
New
north.
England, yeah. Cars.
Yeah. So it's a 68 Cyclone.
66.
66. I'm sorry, 66.
66, yeah. So it's similar, almost the same as a Fairlane.
Okay.
Different sheet metal.
Well, okay, yeah. So the 66, the Fairlane had does it have the vertical headlights?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I like the 66 Fairlane with the vertical headlights. I think that looks cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not familiar necessarily with the Cyclone, although the body I know is similar.
Yeah, it's similar. I wasn't either. I was looking for a Fairlane, and then these kept popping up online, and I'm like, Looked at it and found a couple that were local, missed out on them because people wanted some crazy money, and then found this one down in Illinois that was in need of a lot of work. So
now, well, the engine is a 390.
390, yep, GT 390. So it's an S code, 4-barrel, 335 or 45 horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a convertible.
Convertible, yep.
That sounds like a rare option car.
Yeah, it's one of like 2100. They only made 2100 convertibles.
Wow.
In 66 with the GTs. They made less actually that were not GT. I believe it's like 1400.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, even even if you put those numbers together, that's still a low number.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I wonder how many are
a problem finding parts.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I've struggled because we had some like quarter panel rust. Like all the panels are original. We didn't replace any. We patched a couple in the back. I found some donor panels after searching basically across the country. I had ads out everywhere looking for everyone, and finally got some good pieces sent. And we cut out what we needed and patched it in. Put some floors. It needed like probably half the floors. It wasn't a total mess, but again, it was kind of like if I'm going that far, I might as well just keep going.
Well, years ago at the body shop, I did a 65 Galaxy 500 convertible, and there's videos of that car on the channel, but it needed quarter repair. And so we ordered replacement panels for the 65 Galaxy. You could have used them on a dirt track car, but not on a factory car. They were basically flat. I mean, literally flat panels.
That makes them. They makes them for this too. 66. They're on eBay. 66 Mercury Cyclone Comet panels. But if you read the fine print on the bottom, they're completely flat.
Yeah,
there was no curve to them.
And so I ended up having to hand form what I needed out of those panels. I made the curves in the back, and then the trunk had a drop-in trunk, patch.
Yep.
But it was horrible. They just like snipped the corners and bent them up and then tack welded the corners. So it was just like overlapping metal to make a corner. It was just terrible. And then it turns out those people, I think they watched the videos that I made where I chewed them out for making this junk. And they said, oh, we're improving that. We're making better ones now. It's like, why didn't you make them
people there making the ones now? They're exactly the same.
Yeah.
They are completely flat.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a dirt track car, but can you show us more of the car?
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you a little view here. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
We just finished the break-in on the cam last week. That went good. I think I'm going to put fuel injection. That's my next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have something similar to Dynamat as well.
Yeah, it's the stuff off of again off of eBay. You get it on Amazon. Killsmat.
Killmat
stuff, half the price apparently.
Yeah.
It works great. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's a good looking car.
Thank you.
So you got aluminum radiator in it?
Yep, cold case radiator.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has a factory pattern to it. It looks like,
It's
or close to
factory
it.
stamped, so it looks. Some people paint them black
Sure.
so that it looks like it's a stock radiator.
Okay.
For now, we're going to leave it aluminum, so I don't have to keep painting it. But
Sure.
yeah,
So man, it looks like all the stainless and chrome is fantastic.
I redid some of the chrome. These were redone. The stainless I polished, saved it. That was the good thing about the car. It was complete. Everything was here.
Nice.
So I just had to grab some other oddball pieces and get it together.
So-
Yeah, some trim. Again, there's no trim available. So the hardest piece to find, which is, I don't know if you can see it really good in the video here. Let me see. Is this little piece of corral trim back here,
Oh wow.
which you can't find anywhere. It doesn't exist. And everybody that has one that's a pitted mess wants $600.
Wow.
So I found one finally that was decent. Traded some other parts and got that.
That's
the only
cool.
problem. There's no parts for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I
that's
didn't even really think about when I got it.
yeah. That's the disadvantage of having one of these more rare, cool cars is finding parts.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen some cars that I know would be incredible cars to have. One instance that popped up, somebody was telling me yesterday about a 34 Packard, two-door Packard. And I thought, oh, that would be a beautiful car. And then my mind immediately said, where do you get parts for a 34 Packard two-door? You don't. So it's a trade-off in a sense.
Yeah.
But the car looks fantastic.
I'm used to, I'm a big Jeep guy. I've done Jeeps and Willys forever. And
Okay.
you can literally buy every part to make a Jeep.
Yeah.
From 100 different sources.
Right.
So that's what, I'm like, I'll just get what I need. Not as easy.
Yeah, not as easy.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming out good though. The interior is stuck in China somewhere. So I might see that by the spring.
Yeah.
I ordered replacement seat covers, pads.
No.
From that Distinctive Industries, I think is the company.
What was it again? Well,
I'm sorry, Distinctive Industries makes seat
Distinctive
covers,
Industry.
padding.
Okay.
Yeah. They do a lot
So
of
what
Mustang
color
stuff, I think, too.
Okay.
Black.
Well,
black
what color? What color is the car? Is there
candy apple red. Like Ford
So it is
Mustang
candy apple. That's
candy
your-
apple red.
Is that original?
That's original, yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're going to make it a show car or just cruise
Yeah,
in?
I be a
or-
driver. Yeah.
Yeah.
I drive everything that I have.
Yeah.
Like I have the bottom isn't detailed. We just kind of cleaned it up and sprayed it. But yeah, it'll just be a dependable driver. I know it'll be safe. Everything will be good. And it'll just from the top, it'll look flawless. And then someday maybe, I want to take it to the next level. I'll get underneath and redo the bottom. But it's New England. It's going to get driven around. It's going to get dusty and dirty. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
drive
enjoy
them,
it.
I'm used to Jeeps. I don't clean them. I just ride them, drive them, and make a mess of them. So
Yeah. Might as well.
yeah, that's what they're there for.
Well, I know I've shown videos of my Model A that was my grandfather's car, and I would take it out and I would go to Lowe's, I bought concrete, threw it on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
But the car is gorgeous. And people were looking at me like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm driving a car. It's you got to use it. You can't let it sit.
That's right. Yeah.
But they're in shock that, you're willing to do stuff like that. But
Yeah. You got to drive them.
yeah.
They're not good sitting around. So
Let me get some comments in here so we can see what's going on. Rally Cat Garage Harvey is saying Andrew's been making great progress on the Iron 6. Leonard Gilbreth checking in. That's good to know. War Wagon had commented it was a convertible. We recognize that it is. Gene, he says, love the color. What is it? Well, you said it was a candy apple red from the Mustang. So, or used on the Mustang as well, is what you said.
yeah, same color. I forget. They call it cardinal red for the Mercury,
Okay.
but it's the same exact color. Yeah.
They have to have their own little names.
Yeah. Everything's a little different.
Yeah. Grease Rookie commenting about to Harvey for his help. And well, we did get a tour of the car. War Wagon's asking for a tour. Leonard Gilbreth is commenting. I know that what you mean, Paul. I've had to go to the East Coast for parts for his Torino, so he struggled finding parts for that. Comments coming in, sweet, nice, looking really good. So you get good comments on the car. And he says, War Wagon is saying, how about the top? So do you have the top, or have
It's got a white top. It's got a white vinyl top.
White top, but the interior is black.
Interior is black. Yeah. So I'm not sure. The top's newer, but I think somebody did like a half a resto years ago and kind of fluffed it maybe 10, 15 years ago because it had a lot of filler on it and different pieces. You can tell people, Mickey Mouse together to make it look good. And the top was newer, probably about that point, maybe 10 years. But when we took it all apart, you could see remnants way down in the back of the old top that must have disintegrated, and it was white. So,
really? That is an odd combination.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it's
definitely a black interior based on the VIN codes and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can't say I've ever actually seen that kind of combination of colors between on a convertible. It's usually white with white or black with black and
with white interior. Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
There's a couple guys that, through the Facebook group. One guy's got the exact same car essentially. That I believe he also had a white top. He redid his and put a black top because it kind of matched more. I already have the white one that's really in decent shape. So for now, I'll probably just go with that.
Sure.
Yeah, and we can't really get any stats on these cars. So like a lot of these 66s, there's supposed to be 100 of them that were made for pace cars, 1966 Indy pace cars.
Wow.
But there's no definitive way to tell if your car. So everybody thinks their 66 Cyclone is a pace car. There was you need to have disc brakes. It needed to have I think a 4-speed transmission. So they all had some similar stuff, but there's still another 200 of them or 500 that have the same stuff. So everybody online, oh yeah, it's a pace car. So it's probably not. You can't prove it's a pace car.
So like the Marty doesn't do anything with it.
No, they stopped right at 66, 67.
Okay.
So this is a 66. They have nothing. No.
Wow.
And the other guy did talk to them and got some basic info, but still nothing that confirms anything. Because he thought his might have, because he's got in this car has a DSO code of 84. So that means it would have been special ordered or something. So this build date would have been too late for the Indy 500 though, which I believe is in April. This was built in September or something. So it would have been after. So
yeah.
So that's the thing. If you got one that was built before the Indy 500 and you have all those things, you can almost, you can say it is, but you can't prove it.
That's interesting. I didn't even, and you don't think about those things very often. Like what car was a pace car in 67, 68? You don't really, that doesn't come to your mind automatically. But that's interesting. It really is.
Yeah. I didn't even know either. Again, one of the ones I looked at, it didn't have any of the stickers on it, but he wanted a crazy price. I'm like, what is the price for? He goes on to explain that, this is a pace car. He's got all the decals. They're in the back, they're in the trunk. But had nothing to prove. He just said it was. And we went back and forth. I'm like, I really don't think it is. You don't even have disc brakes. And everyone says it should have disc brakes.
Well, I would believe that.
No, with the pace car. And eventually sold it, I think. But it was, like $45,000 he wanted for it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Let me get a couple of other guys on here. We have Footage Factory. Steve, long time in the shadows somewhere. Haven't heard from him in a while. Glad you're here, Steve. I assume that your Mustang did not make 180 horsepower. Well, we had a wager going, and I know that late on one of the live streams he had contributed $25 on the super chat. So I can only assume that he did not have 180 horsepower come out of a 68 Mustang. Robert Bloxham is saying nice car. Let's see. Raleigh Harvey is saying beautiful convertible. How long has it been under construction? So how long have you had it?
I got it pretty much exactly a year ago, actually. I
Okay.
got it, planned on just, again, fixing the brakes, fixing the steering, and driving it, you know, in the spring. And then once I started apart and seeing how Mickey Mouse everything was, I just couldn't, you know. My plan was to have it done for now, but with missing the interior and the other stuff, I decided not to kill myself. I'll just shoot for the spring and fix, you know, take
Sure.
a little more detail. Like I'll put fuel injection on. I wasn't going to do that. So I'm going to look into the Holly kit and put the Holly fuel injection kit on it. And
Cool.
yeah, see what happens.
Well, War
Trying to
Wagon
find
is.
now a way to. Yeah, good.
I would say War Wagon is commenting. It had a Krylon rebuild. You know, you were talking about people Mickey Mouse and things. That's been an expression I've used before. Is Krylon rebuild, where you take an engine and you repaint it, and it's rebuilt. It's all ready to go.
Yeah. That's funny. That's
So-
what happened with this. I was told the engine was rebuilt.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see it beforehand. I bought it from a dealer. So I used a car dealer, like a big Ford dealer had it. The owner sold, it was part of his collection. He decided he wasn't going to restore it. Yeah, I can probably trust them, you know, and stuff. And I get it back here in 2 minutes. I said, "There's no way it's rebuilt." You know, the paint was just sprayed everywhere on top of everything. And I called back and said, "You know, you guys take that. This isn't what we agreed on. This isn't even close." So they essentially cut the price in half, and I'm a killer on the deal. So because I think they knew. I don't think the owner actually ever saw it. I think he had it sitting in his garage or in one of the bays. Told his girl to go sell it. She just put a description on there based on what somebody had told her before, and she was like, "No, that's not what I was told, but I apologize. You know, the owner says he'll take it back or he'll, you know, do whatever you want." So, right. So we worked out a good deal in the end.
Derek,
but it's funny. Yeah, I got pictures.
I was going to say Derek Pro, he's checking in from Australia. He's saying we haven't been able to go cruising or catch up with the friends at car meets for months due to our lockdown, hanging out to take the pony for a drive. So this is kind of our generic cruise in right now. We're we're looking at a couple of cars.
We've got basic ones they're letting us do out here. You know, still limited groups. You know.
Well, here in Georgia, they have a cruise in right here at our pizza place every first and third Saturday of the month, and people are showing up. You know, so they're still having something.
I'm in Massachusetts, which is really strict still right now. They've taken it to the extreme, and it seems to work. So I guess, you know, I won't complain. But I'm also like 10 minutes from the New Hampshire border, where they've kind of relaxed the regulations a lot, and so there's a lot of cruises and stuff going on up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Leonard is saying there's a 66, 67 Comet here in Victorville, California, that's been sitting for years. The right quarter panel's crushed. So, just some information, but Derek,
you might need it. I went on Craigslist and searched the whole country and started sending emails out to people if they had a part or a car. Said, "Hey, I'm on the other side of the country, but I'll pay for shipping if we can work something out."
Sure.
And that's where I got the trim off the back. The guy out in California is like, "I got one."
Yeah.
Like, "You want to come get it?" I'm like, "I don't think I'm coming to get it, but if you want to send it over, we can work something out."
Yeah. Derek Pro is saying, great looking car, fantastic summer cruiser. Grease Rookie, don't forget to give a thumbs up for the videos. Yeah, thank you, Grease Rookie. Videos, thumbs up help the videos. War Wagon, I like to do the oddball, rarer cars. I have a 1949 Dodge Sportabout Roadster. That does sound rare. I'll give you a bell for that. I've never heard of that one. So, he's saying the Cyclone Vert is definitely one of those. Nice job. Yep, I agree. Oh, Dave Britton wants to know, does the hood have a double hood scoop?
Yep, that's the one. The fiberglass hood with the fake double scoop. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fiberglass hood.
Yeah, fiberglass hood. That's what makes this the other thing that makes it a Cyclone.
Oh, okay.
Fake fiberglass scooped hood.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Which is another part you can't find. Mine was in rough shape, and the body guy did some fantastic work to fix it. But, you know, they want like, you know, $12,000 for a hood that's missing a chunk. like literally out of the corner of it.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
We fixed what we had.
Peter B is checking in from Sweden. Glad you're here. I don't think I've seen that name before, but glad you're here. Footage Factory, Steve. I never did Dino It. Everywhere is booked for the foreseeable future, and I'm too busy. Just keeping my word. Well, Steve, you get a bell for keeping your word. Because we don't know for sure, but I did see that late on one of the videos that you threw $25 at it. So thank you for that. And we may still work something out with a hat. We'll see. Jerry is asking, why Holly versus Fit Tech? Which one?
Phi Tech, I think he means.
F Tech or Fit Tech?
I think it's Phi Tech.
Phi Tech.
Yeah. I just, from what I've read, is Holly seems to have more support, more consistency. Holly also has a unit they call the Stealth that looks like a carburetor. Kind of. It's pretty cool looking.
Okay.
And everything's contained in it. So that's really the only reason, just some backup support is all I really need. Actually, and basically we pieced that kit together, had a guy burn the chip and make it all work, and it works, but it was a lot of little hiccups we had along the way to get it running. So
okay.
Support is just what I need for fuel injection.
Well, that answers that question. And Leonard is throwing some thumbs up on the comments. So, you, like you said, you're waiting on interior to come from China eventually.
Yeah, that's on its way. Should be here in a week, but it's been a week for 6 months now. So
yeah. Now, are you putting stock wheels on it? Are you putting, custom wheels or anything like that?
I don't know yet. I might put some Krager SSs. They have some Krager SSs on the other side right now, just for trial. See if I like the look.
Oh, yeah. You can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with Krager SS. I mean, it fits the time period. It fits the car. I like that.
So yeah, either that or
What's that?
Yeah, the old school kind of look.
Yeah.
The old school, what I would have had in high school is kind of what I was working on.
Yeah.
So either that or maybe some Magnums.
Well, that would make sense too.
Yeah.
That would make sense too. There's even times where I like to see the Mopar stuff where it has a little dog dish hubcap.
Yeah.
Plain rim, dog dish hubcap. It just looks, on certain cars, it looks perfect. The
stock wheel for this, so it's a steel wheel. That's the stock wheel. And it's got I don't know if I have it out here. It's a steel hubcap that looks like a wheel. It's kind of weird and unique, but it's kind of bland.
Right.
I thought I had one out here.
Yeah, for that time period, they really didn't have a whole lot of design into the hubcap or the accents.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to make something look cool from a stamped hubcap.
Yeah, it's essentially looks like a steel wheel. It's a stainless or chromed wheel, but it's really a hubcap. Yeah.
So those might be collectible. To somebody.
They're all over eBay. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. And they get beat to crap. These ones are pretty beat.
Yeah.
From get smashed on curbs and stuff because they're low.
Looks like Jerry says, I think he's saying I agree, I'm guessing is what he's trying to say with your assumption or the evaluation of the Holly system. Warwagon saying the more cars you have, the less weeds you have to pull in the yard. Gene is saying he loves the SSs, the Krager SS wheels, which I do too. That's pretty sharp. And Leonard is saying the Magnum 500s would set it off. From the choices,
you can't go wrong. Yeah,
you can't go wrong with either one. I mean, you really can't. I know that like the 68 Mustang I have, my wife's car, I'm putting on some 17-inch wheels, like torque thrust style. But the thing is, certain cars almost need a certain type of wheel to look right.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Because like these cars, I believe the wheel well isn't very high on
in the back. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't go crazy with some big meat tire underneath there, or at least not without modifying stuff.
No. Yeah. The back you can see this actually has new springs on it that have a little lift to them.
Yeah.
So that's why it's up so high. That's
Yep.
also a 14-inch wheel still.
Yeah.
So it will have to tuck underneath a little. And it's really tight between the springs. So you can fit like a 10-inch wide wheel if the back spacing is like perfect. So
Right.
it'll be a little trial and error. But
Yeah.
enough people have done it. So I think I can go with what. That's why I got actually. That's a good size that I can use to space. So I know I'm close with those, which are 15, I think, like 245.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Leonard is saying 15 by 8s would look great or work great. And Derek Pro is saying he has Magnum 500s on his 66. He says makes the car, makes it look right. So, and then Warwagon is saying he just picked up a set of Magnum 500s for $125 for a 66 convertible. That sounds like a deal.
Good deal.
Yep. All right. So your interior, what else is there to do? It looks like the car is pretty much done.
It's close, yeah. The interior, the dash, I sent out the gauge cluster to be redone, so I'm waiting for that. And then exhaust, which I have, I just need to modify it to meet the headers. It didn't have headers on it, so now we have a set of headers on there. And that's it, yeah. So I'll be good in the spring. I'll just take my time, finish all the little details.
Now, I don't know for sure, but does that car have vent windows or no?
It does have vent windows, yeah.
Okay, because it looks like they're not in the car.
They're not in the car. None of the windows are in the car. Yeah, all the windows have to go back in. I'm still missing. I need one window and one regulator still. The driver's was all rusted. So.
Yeah, it's always something.
Yeah, like plenty of people say they've got them and they're going to send them. I'm just waiting for someone to come through. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're not compatible with like any other like a Mustang or anything like that.
Just rear lane. So stuff, most of that stuff. Actually, the regulator and stuff, everything inside, like the regulator, all the suspension, the undercarriage, I think the exhaust is all fair lane. When you kind of get up top, like the windows, I think are a little different. The door panels are all different. The handles are different.
Right.
Yeah, it's just enough. It's just enough that you can't assume it's going to fit. You got to kind of look and say, is that the same? Like I made a mistake with the window. I thought the window would be the same, and I grabbed one. It was cheap, but it's just enough different in the back that it won't work. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Danny Alvey is saying when he was a teenager, the local salvage yard had a 66 convertible Cyclone. Cool car. I'm sure it was crushed 30 years ago. Very likely. Warwagon is asking any issues with the convertible header and rear trim pieces. Bet those will be hard to find.
Nope. Those are the ones. They're all perfect. I just polished them up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Where do you send off your chrome? Or where do you get?
We have a local guy that's probably 15, 20 minutes from here but he can only do small stuff under 4 feet.
Okay.
So which works out good. The bumpers were in pretty good shape. Again, I think somebody redid them like 15 years. So I was going to go with it. But the guy that painted the car is doing I think he's doing a Rolls Royce or something. And he sent the interior to Syracuse or something in New York. So there's a bumper shop out there. So he's actually taking a load of bumpers for his other cars and his customers. So he's throwing those on that load. So again, since I'm in no rush, I'll have him back in the spring.
Well, I know here in Georgia, or not far from me, there was a place that did do bumpers. I knew that much. I don't know that they're still in business. I know when we had the body shop, we did that 65 Galaxy, and we had to find somebody to do bumpers, and we had to we sent everything to a place in Tennessee to get it done. You know, because it's limited. They're restricted, so restricted now. But it's good information to have. So that's why I was asking, because if somebody's looking,
I'll send you the name. It's in upstate New York. I guess it's the go-to bumper guy. It's like for the East Coast.
Okay.
And that's why this guy's taking all the Rolls Royce parts and some other muscle car stuff he's doing. He's like, I'm going out for $100. I'll take anybody else's parts. So like that's a deal. Saves me from
Yeah.
driving. Again, I would have just probably run him for a couple of years and then,
Yeah.
dealt with him at that point. But
Yeah, I know when we did that Galaxy, we re-chromed everything. I mean,
it's
it was
expensive. I figured I did a batch. I did all the stuff that you could see. Like I didn't do door handles yet. I'll do those in another point. There's like one more batch, probably another 10 pieces.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, I can live with it for now.
Right.
That'll be like next winter's project. I'll pull that stuff off and,
Yep. Well,
I can't be completely done. If I'm completely done, then I'll have to start another project. So.
yeah, you got to find another one. Yeah, I understand that. I'm not sure I've ever actually completed a car. Honestly.
No, thanks. My Jeeps are never done. So,
yeah,
always a work in progress.
So do you build Jeeps just as a stock?
Yeah, that's
Jeep,
what I run a little group called East Coast Willies. So we're in the Eastern Mass. It's all just vintage Willie guy. Anybody can join us. That's like an unofficial club. But we do a couple of runs a year with the old vintage Jeeps, from 46 up to like 86. Yeah. Some of them are completely stock, riding through the trails in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my son this weekend at the campground near us. There's there's a barn, and there's like I'm guessing a mid '60s Scout. Well, people will who don't really know, they'll look at the Scout and they say, "Oh, Scout copied the Bronco."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, switch that. Because the Scout came out in like 60 or 61, something along those lines, which of course was an answer to the Jeep type of thing. But we had this we had a Scout at my dad's junkyard. It was like a 60 something, 63, 64, I don't know. But I think it had a flathead 4-cylinder engine in it. And I was telling my son, it had like 8 different gear or levers on the floor. For the 3-speed manual, the high and low range, the 2-wheel high, 2-wheel low, all these different things. I said, you had to know what you were doing to make it just go.
Yeah.
But if you put it in low, you could walk faster than that thing would idle. You could outwalk the thing.
It's all about crawl ratio. Keep it low and slow.
Yeah. But what was interesting about that thing, I was just thinking about this. This goes to, if Boondocker's on here, this is a junkyard story for Boondocker. So, do you remember the catchphrase for the Scout? What their logo was? It was anything less is just a car. International Scout. Anything less is just a car, and that was always their, on their marquee or whatever. Well, this Scout that we had was in such bad shape that the whole back of it was gone. It had the front fenders, the hood, the A-pillars, and like some bit of a floor pan. So we would make the joke and say anything less is just a frame because there wasn't anything left. But what was crazy about it was it had no brakes. It would run and you could drive it until it got hot. It would not hold water. I don't know if there was a crack in the block or a freeze plug was missing or whatever, but you could drive around for, quite some time. And then all of a sudden it would just shut off. And what it would do is it would lock. It would lock up because it got so hot. It would seize. So wherever you were, you just left it. You come back the next day, hit the key, and it would fire right up, and you would just keep on going. But the weakest point on those, I don't know how it was with the Jeeps in comparison, but the weakest point, from what I gather, was the axles, because we would snap them off.
Yeah,
right at the hub. You used to put some torque on it, in the wrong way, and boom, you'd lose an axle. So I don't know how comparable, with the Jeeps.
Similar, yeah. If you're running a stock like Willys and the engine stock and everything stock, you'll do pretty good. If you don't beat on it, you won't break axles. But yeah, you might break a hub. The hubs are weak, But they take a beating. Again, we had a couple guys that with built Jeeps, on lifts and lockers front and rear, and the stock ones fall right behind them. Just takes a little more banging and smashing, but they just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's something cool about an old Willys. I
Yeah.
mean, it's you just can't look at one and go, I can't like it. You know what I mean? It's just they're just so cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to get caught up on a few questions here, a few comments. Dave Britton, getting bumpers chromed here in Ontario, Canada is very expensive. My buddy paid over $2,000 for his 67 GTX bumpers.
Wow.
That's a lot. War Wagon's asking, hey, did you catch a fish or a cold on your camping trip? I didn't catch anything. So, let's see. Footage Factory, Steve, I'm heading to the store starting the 68. Want to see it? Well, yeah, of course everybody wants to see it. Danny Alves commenting, good looking car again on your convertible there, Paul. Leonard, have you seen John Wayne's custom built International Harvester Travelall? I have not. And that's what I was telling my son. He said, well, who made the Scout? And I said, it was a company called International who actually was making tractors.
Yeah, big trucks and tractors.
And big trucks. And they had, semi trucks and all kinds of stuff. And I think International, the only thing they made as a passenger vehicle was a Scout and a Travelall, and pickups. I think they made trucks, but they never made anything like a car that I know of. But it's kind of funny, like the new Scout came out, and when I see the new Scout, all I see is, the new Bronco, the new body Bronco. When I look at it, all I see is the original Scout, and I just can't picture it as a Bronco. I picture that's the original Scout, but there's like people don't know. They think that Bronco was first. It's like no, then of course Chevy came out with the Blazer and all those variations.
Toyota had the Land Cruiser, all those. Yeah. All the group of them.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I keep, when I'm browsing through Facebook Marketplace or whatever, I look at just random stuff, and if a Willys pops up, I always stop and look at it just to see what's going on.
It's fun. I can help you get any parts for those. That's easy. We got connections for parts here.
Yeah. Well, I remember my dad had them at the junkyard.
Yeah.
There were several there. And they're little, they're little industrial vehicles is what it comes down to. They're not, may not be, like you said, they're not super strong as far as certain parts of it, but they're pretty rudimentary. There's no creature comforts.
No.
But they were built for a purpose,
Yeah,
So
it's like a tractor, essentially. Yeah.
Well, it's like,
tractor.
it's like when I look at and I tell people about the Model A. The Model A is just a glorified tractor.
Mhm.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's a car. No, it's really just a tractor. When you have a speed control on your steering column for the throttle, it's a tractor. But it was a car, but it was really based on tractor technology as far as that goes. That's why a lot of them, they turned into tractors. People would take the old Model 8 and they'd rip the body off and convert it into, a basic tractor type vehicle.
Did you see online? There's a guy that just from New Hampshire that drove a Model A, basically, I think across the country to Route 66 and then back over the course of he just got back yesterday.
And he had the black top.
Yeah. He had
I've been following him.
Put his tent on top if he couldn't get a place to camp or stay. Yeah.
I followed that on Facebook.
Yeah, I was too. That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of like, I was talking to my wife. I said, that would be kind of cool to do that. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. We've talked, there's a group of us want to take the Willys and drive them out to Moab, Utah to ride the trails. But again, it ends up being a 3-week process.
That would be
it's going to take us a week and a half to get there.
Right. You're better off putting them all in a trailer and just hauling them there in one shot.
We did. Yeah. We got a price to do that too. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I know I've looked at, I had recently on Facebook memories or whatever, I had found a post where somebody had linked a bunch of different highways or interstates around the country to where you could travel the states and go to every state. So I said to my wife, I said, I would like to do that. I think that'd be fun to do in the right car, or vehicle. And I can't say I don't want to do it in a Model A though, at least not mine.
Yeah, no.
because top speed is 45 miles an hour.
Yeah.
No air
That's
conditioning.
That's all he did. I think his top speed was he showed it on the freeway a couple times.
Yeah, I think he had tried to do about 50 or 55, and he
I think that was
overheated
it.
pretty quick. And like I couldn't, like the Model A has, like as Warwagon is saying, especially with mechanical brakes, because it is. I don't know if you've seen those or not,
Yeah.
but it's just a bunch of rods underneath pulling and pushing. It's like, no,
It looked
I
like he
couldn't do
did
that.
pretty good. He didn't have any major breakdowns or issues.
Right. Yeah, I think he overheated
That was
once or
impressive.
twice. Yeah. Let me see. What do we have here? Leonard, when you say corn binder nowadays, no one knows what it is. Corn binder? I'm not sure I know what that is.
I think it's another name for international.
Oh, well, it could be.
I think so.
It could be. Because they made all kinds of tractors and stuff like that. So you're right. It could be. Yeah, Warwagon. He did. He traveled Route 66.
Yeah, out to roads from New Hampshire.
From New Hampshire. So, and he has all kinds of pictures. He stopped at Cadillac Ranch.
Really
I know
good.
stopped at Cadillac Ranch and different things. Really, I mean, it's a neat trip.
I think he did 4,000 miles total because his odometer when he started was at 0. He put a new odometer in it, and he showed it when he just got back. I think it was 4,000.
Yeah, that might very well be, which is better. Good for him. Gene says, you made me laugh with the overheating daily drive 30 or 40 years ago when someone borrowed your car. Usually came a list of special instructions for the odd things that might go wrong. That is very true. We're all spoiled with the modern technology where you hit the key and it's running, drop it in gear and go. It's like I have on some of my videos, you'll hear an engine starting up and that sequence is actually really long and I chop it down to just a running part. But it's me starting up the 68 Mustang. So in the last video I did, I think on the aprons on the Jade, you can hear I'm like on the gas pedal, because that's how it is. That's the reality of it. Now, obviously with the Holly system or, Fit Tech or whatever, hopefully it does away with that. Makes it a lot easier. Hopefully. Robert is saying, sad story, trade my 67 Fastback Mustang in on a international pickup. Ooh, yeah, that didn't probably end well. That was not a good choice. Leonard saying the Mustang would do great for it. Yeah, it would actually. The Jade Mustang would be ideal for one of those road trips. It would be. Warwagon. My son has his great grandfather's stock 1931, fun to drive around town, but no way freeway. Yeah, I've had mine on the freeway once, and that was on 285 in Atlanta. And I was only on the interstate on that loop for about a mile. And I said, that's enough of that. I got, you get run over. Yeah. I bet he has buns of steel after that drive. Yeah, he very well might. Derek Pro, got to go, guys. Catch you next time. Well, everyone, thanks for another great show. Thank you, Derek. Glad you were here. And we'll see. Yeah, Leonard saying goodbye. Okay. So I have sent Footage Factory a link, and I don't know if he's going to be able to pull in. Oh, there he is. He's just now popping up on the bottom of the screen. So, Paul, I'm going to let you go.
Sounds good.
Glad to see your car. I think that was awesome, and I'd like
you.
to see some updates.
Yeah, I will. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Have a good
Nice
night.
talking to you. See you. All right. So let me get Steve lined up here. Oh, he's getting in his Mustang. So let me get him on the stream. Here we go. There you are, Steve. What are you doing?
Trying to find my keys. My neighbor stopped by, and I actually don't know what to do with my keys.
Oh man,
I know, right? That bad.
all these people waiting to see that car start up, and you don't have your keys.
Stop it,
Man.
I'll get it. Hold on, I left it right here. Right here. They're my truck.
Okay.
Dude. Hey,
So
look how smoky it is outside.
Is that why you're wearing a mask?
Actually, seriously, yeah. Because I'm freaking coughing my brains out like I have coronavirus, and it's not. It's just so smoky out.
That's because of the wildfires?
Yeah.
Dang.
And I mean, I'm 600 miles away, you know?
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's real bad.
You want to hear a cold start?
What? Whatever. I mean, you're on. You're live. You're live. You're live. All right. Here we go. What are you doing?
Bad positioning, dude.
All right. Well, we don't want to. We'd rather see the car.
Okay. All right.
There we go. You know what? I'm gonna pull myself off. Hold on a second.
Lost you.
Wait a minute.
Lost you.
There you are.
Lost you. Okay. All right.
Let me pull.
All right. Open headers.
Oh yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Man, I think you should leave that car alone.
Say what?
I think you should leave that car alone. I like it just the way it looks.
I know it's pretty nice, but there's some issues.
Well, I know
Actually,
you were talking about getting it painted or something, aren't you?
well, I was thinking about getting it wrapped. I might get it wrapped.
Yeah.
I just installed a tape deck.
Man, look at that. Where did you find that?
Amazon.
Wow.
It doesn't even have fast forward and rewind.
Well, you see, you should. Do they sell 8-tracks?
That's before my time, so I wouldn't know anything about that.
Okay. Well, I mean, for the car though, an 8-track would have been more correct than a cassette.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, do you have your Kraco speakers?
I got some Pioneers, and there's no amplifier, so it does kind of sound a little old. And I like I don't want it to sound nice. I want it to sound old. A lot of treble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A little bit of static. Sounds good. Yeah.
You want to hear a funny story?
Sure.
It's a kill switch right there. And my wife, she goes, by the way, she left this morning to go to Scotland because we're getting that F word out of America for the election. I'm leaving in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But she said, "Hey, I'm going to the supermarket." I said, "Why don't you take the Mustang?" She's like, "Okay." She said, "Oh, do I press that switch so people can't steal it?" I'm like, "Yeah, just flip the switch." And by the way, I'd been day drinking.
Okay, well, stay calm.
So I was just plastered. Anyways, she'd been gone for a while. Wonder where she's at. Go in, check my phone. No phone call. I walk outside. There's a neighbor walking outside. I kind of wave to the neighbor. As I'm waving, my wife shows up, breathing and sweating. The car won't start. And she ran. Oh, she actually just texted me. She's boarding in 5 minutes. She's in Atlanta. But
okay.
I go, okay, let's take your other car and go find it. And then I'm like, try to start it. I didn't even think. She didn't even bring her phone, so she couldn't text me. Anyways, we got there, and I said, did you turn on the kill switch? So we had to leave the car there overnight because I couldn't drive it back. Yeah.
Sometimes the best laid plans, come back and haunt you. So,
yeah. You guys haven't even seen this car. You saw my other one, which by the way has floor pan. It has the floor pans.
Right.
It has all the floor pans are done. And I'm getting it back this week so I can button it up and put it in the house so I can lock up the house when I leave.
Right.
But you guys, this channel hasn't even seen this car.
No, they haven't seen it on the live streams, but I've been checking it out on your channel though.
Oh, have
I've been
you?
looking at it. Yeah.
Oh, you that's right. You've been leaving comments.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Well, I was like, where did he go? He hasn't been on the live streams. He hasn't been making, so where did he go? But
I've been busy. I'm sorry.
that's all right. Well, I'm glad you're still around. You could have succumbed to the smoke or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I could have succumbed to the Rona.
Yeah.
Well,
You never know.
Well, because my wife isn't here, I have to fend for myself, and I'm actually going to head to the store and pick up some fried chicken. And just wanted to start this engine for you guys.
Well, sounds good.
Thanks, man.
I mean, it's not. We know it's not 180 horsepower, but it sounds good. Sounds good.
I don't know. So the neighbor kid, he's got a new like 4.6 newer Mustang, and he drove mine. He's like, this thing's got some power. But I'm like, yeah, it has a lot of torque, but it peters out midway through second gear. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, this thing's got more torque than my 4.6. And I'm like, you think? so the horsepower might be low, but I tell you what, the torque in this thing is just.
Yeah. Well, what rear end's in it?
4.9-inch. I don't know what gears.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't know what gears. I eventually, and I know you keep leaving the comments like, oh, leave it alone. But here, let me show you. I'm actually gonna have to hang up on here soon because I gotta call my wife and wish her.
Well, do whatever you gotta do, man. Don't sweat it.
But I had to replace this skin because it was so messed up.
Right.
Replace the skin, and there's just other things about the car that.
Oh, I understand. Believe me.
Oh, it's matching engine too.
Wow, that's nice.
And I'm like 30K into my other one, and it looks like Swiss cheese, and I'm 10 grand into this, and it looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
It rides, so
yeah. That's what I was saying. That's why I said leave it alone, just drive it, But
there is problems with the engine though, like there's oil in the spark plugs, there's yeah. So yeah. I'm gonna have to pull it next year.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
It does happen.
But I did like your Coyote startup video.
Oh, you watched that?
I did. That was really like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah, I was watching it, this wire here, this wire there. You take this and throw some magic dust at it, and then all of a sudden it's running. I'm like, wow.
Right in the middle of the garage. Actually, I think I'm going to do a YouTube series on, and I know it's like comparing apples to oranges, Coyote versus 289.
Right.
But I think I'm going to do it anyways, because I bet you there's a lot of people that are even thinking to themselves, oh, should I put a new engine in, or should I just put like a 302 or a 289 in there? And I'm telling you what, man, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons about Coyotes, to the point where I'm like, should I have done this? You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
The horsepower is great, but the horsepower is great if it's in the car, and it's not in the car because I got to do so much work,
Right. That's my holdup, is how much modification do you have to do to make it even fit, or is it worth it? I'm sure for some people, they don't care. They're happy with doing all the extra whatever. But for me, I just like, oh man, I got to do this, and I got to chop that, move this, and cut that, and bend this, and it's like. Oh.
But what's funny about you is I don't think you realize that a lot of people that are doing Coyote swaps will come to your channel because realistically, you're the only one who has an in-depth TCI video on YouTube. You are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you are. And one of the routes to put a Coyote in is to do a TCI. That's one of the routes, and that's how I found you. Okay. So it's just interesting. I think I'm going to do a series on it, because okay, let's say I am producing 160 horsepower. Okay.
Right.
All right. Let's just say I am. It's so simple to put something on this. Do something to this.
Put a cam in it.
I'm sorry, a cam. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this one already is producing close to 400 horsepower, but it's not in the car. That's the problem.
Right. Right. It's not as easy as people think.
No.
No.
And I wish the future me could have came back in time and said, "Hey, this is not going to be fun."
They would have said, put in a 347 stroker, or put in, something else that's more stock in appearance and function.
I was talking to the neighbors. Oh, I love overhead cam, and I'm like, dude, I push rod all day long. I push rod. Screw your overhead cams. And he's like, why? You have one? I'm like, I know I have one. You should trust me.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Barry, I'm gonna get going, man. Nice seeing you. All right.
Glad you were here. Glad you're still alive. So we'll catch up.
Catch up, buddy. Hey, see you later.
All right. See you. Thanks. All right. Cool. Well, it's great to see Steve on here. Let me get some caught up on some of these comments. Let's see. So Derek Pro's checking out. And Leonard's, take care. See y'all next Monday. Okay. 3 miles to the gallon. I'm not sure what we were on that one. We're talking about Steve's car. Paul D'Amato checking out. He got a lot of sanding to do. So keep sanding, Paul. Good Munder. Haven't seen a tape deck in years. You know what's funny about that you bring that up, and it is rare to see. I still have from 1985, 6, probably 86. I have a tape deck. I think it's sitting up in the corner somewhere. That is the Pioneer, the big time Pioneer auto reverse, blah, 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 that I had in my 72 Chevy truck. And it was, Pioneer with this big cord that attached to it that had your amp. And then I had a set of kicker speakers mounted up in the top of the cab. It was a pretty cool setup for the time period. But yeah, you just don't see old style tape decks very often anymore. Let's see. Jensen, TP power car restoration metal. Jensen. Okay, I'm sorry. Jensen triaxle speakers. I was skipping ahead on your extended name there, Warwagon. Old Crony Garage checking in. He got his Dodge Ram running better. Well, that's good. I'll give you a bell for that. Running better. That's good. Okay. Sorry. Magic dust to fix the Dodge Ram. Cool. What is his YouTube channel? It is Footage Factory. That's his channel. So if you see his name, Footage Factory, that's what it is. Footage Factory. If you're interested. He's got some interesting videos on there. My Views. Who is My Views? That's the first I've seen that one. 455 stage 2. Whoa, that would be a nice combination. Yeah. That's a lot of motor right there. Rick Stevenson, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Rick. Pioneer Super Tuner. Yes. I don't know where it's at. I know it's here. I could probably go over to that shelf and grab it, but I'm not going to. But I know I have it. I still have it here. I do. It's a Pioneer Super Tuner. Yep. But it's this big rectangular thing. It's not the one with the knobs. So it was really high tech in 1986. Big, chunky stereo. Robert Bloxham, he's checking out. Glad you were here. For Steve, it's 3 miles per gallon, 68. Rick, I put the original radio back into my 2001 F-150. My daughter said, Dad, a cassette deck? Really? My Views, I was just looking around and saw your live stream listed. Well, thank you for being here. I've not seen your name before. If you're just like browsing and happen to stumble across this, I'll just let you know that I do these live streams on Monday nights at 7:00 and Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. And I do that to catch up with people in Europe so they can be on the stream. It's easier for them because it's a good time for their day. Thank you, old crony. Appreciate the thumbs up. Dave, back in the day when Craig was a good stereo. Yes. Yes, they used to have a pretty good name at that time. Crash Rider, thanks for another entertaining evening, Bear. Well, glad you're here. Glad you were here. Yeah, old crony, he said if his Dodge had a radio, it would have a original radio would have a tape deck. And that's the thing too. Back in the 70s, 60s, late 60s, early 70s, it was 8-tracks. And I was thinking about this too, because Boondocker, again, this is maybe a junkyard story for you. I think I've mentioned it before, but I remember a 70, what was it? Like a 74, 75, 76, 77, something like that. Mercury Montego. So big, huge car. I mean, it had fenders that were 6 feet long, but it was a 2-door. And I remember that car being at the junkyard. It had it was blue with black interior, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was in great shape. But in the radio, talk about a rare combination. I've never seen another one. I don't even know if it was a factory thing or an option you could buy. I bet you if it was an option, it was so rare that people would pay big time money for it. But it was a radio. It was AM/FM with an 8-track with a CB radio built in. I've never, ever seen another one of those. And like I said, I don't know if it was a dealer thing, available. I don't know, but it looked like it belonged there, like it was put in at the dealership. But AM/FM 8-track with a CB radio. It actually had a little, mic and everything on it. Pretty cool. And I bet you somebody would pay big bucks if that was still around. I'm sure the car's long gone. I know the car's long gone. But anyway, kind of interesting. Let's see. Did it come stock with lifeboats? No, the Montego? Yeah, it should have. That car was so big. Good Munder. My wife still has her old Van Halen albums on 8-track. They will be played in the Mustang in the future. Cool. Tina Harvey saying Tina has a realistic cassette radio. I will feel bad when I throw it out. Yeah, I somebody would buy it, Harvey. Somebody wants that. I'm telling you. Old cronies have seen a square body with a factory CB radio. It's a rare option. Yep. Gene, I remember some units from the 80s that had a little 2-inch black and white TV built on them. Yeah, that was rare. Well, in fact, and I can't remember what company it was. I don't know if it was Studebaker or not. There you could buy I think it was in a glove box, a record player. You could have it would play like records. That was it was in a glove box. If I remember correctly, you had a record player in the glove box. You could slide it out, put a record on it, and play it, and it would play through the speakers. Imagine that. I mean, it was really. I remember seeing pictures of it. Just crazy. Old cronies, yeah, 8-track. You were lucky to get 5 songs out of one. Yeah, you had to know. Yeah, you have to fix a tape, or else you'd have to know to put in the matchbook, to make it play right. My views is saying under dash. Well, it may have been under dash, but I do remember seeing pictures of a record player in a car. Really odd configuration, but anyway. Okay, it is after 9 o'clock. The day has gotten short all of a sudden, and I'm going to have to end up calling it quits here in just a minute. Warwagon says he had a 45 underdash record player, was spring mounted. See, there you go. My views were saying it was a Chrysler option. I believe it. They had some crazy ideas, And Good Munder, you were talking about the 8-track or cassettes and albums on and different things. I still have a briefcase of cassette tapes from the 80s still sitting in my closet in the house, and I'm tempted to get the old that Pioneer Super Tuner mounted in something just so I can play those same tapes that I played on that Super Tuner, play it, again. So I'm gonna have to try to figure something out with that. I'm not going to cut a hole in the in the Mustangs. I want to keep the original opening for the radio, but I may put something under the dash or under a seat or something to make it work. But there's just something about listening to those songs on old tapes and whatnot that just brings back memories. Okay. I am going to call it a night. So, this has been a pretty good stream considering it was Labor Day. We've had average about 50 people showing up, which is cool. I see people still coming in and out. That's great. I'm going to be back on Thursday to do the afternoon stream at 3. And otherwise, I will do the next live stream, Monday night, this coming Monday and next Monday at 7 p.m. Now, I do have some things I need to work on, as Warwagon has suggested, about the seatbelts and different things that I need to get addressed. And we'll see what I come up with for the next video. Oh, DP just showed up. I was just, you missed out, man. I was commenting earlier about the hat and stuff. About the hat you sent me. So that was cool. And I was amazed whenever I pulled out the pen. I'm sure not everybody has seen this, but I'll have to show it again. I've never seen a pen that lights up. Never. I think it's pretty cool. See that? So thanks for the swag, man. I appreciate it. Anyway, so I'm going to call it a night. Yeah, thank you, DP. Thank you. That was pretty cool. All the stuff in it. I was talking about the remove before flight tags and all that stuff. Really cool to have. And Grease Rookie, Andrew, glad you were here. Peter B, thumbs up. Thank you. Erlite Wave, I guess. Say goodnight as well. Warwagon, we'll see you. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night, and I need to get in the house and chill out a little bit before bedtime. So, again, thanks everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody who's been using Amazon to buy stuff. That helps tremendously. Those that have become patrons, I want to thank you for that. And for those of you that haven't seen or have not or followed up or whatever, Andrew has helped me with these t-shirts. You've probably seen them in some of the videos. This is one of the Joe Daddy's Garage patriotic t-shirts. So if you're interested, they're available on Teespring. And there's another one on there right now from Andrew has helped me design as well. That is the Team Brooklyn Pony t-shirt. So if you haven't checked those out, and if you want a shirt, get it. If not, fine. I'm still working on getting the hats coming. I know I've talked about this before. Hopefully I get some samples that will show up very soon so I can place my order. So that's going to be it. Thank you all for being here. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.